discussed that there are three types of t-test: independent sample, then paired sample or dependent sample, and third one was the one sample t-test. These are the three types of t-test available. Then we discuss in independent sample t-test that any naturally created two groups you can compare, and the comparison will be done through the mean value, right? Average or mean value. So we understood that for application of this t-test, we require two variables. Variable number one will be our dichotomous variable, and variable number two will be the scale variable. So we require two variable. One will be the nominal variable. Second one will be the scale variable, means either interval or ratio variable. And then we can apply independent sample t-test. We took the example of the monthly mobile bill of the male respondents and female respondents, and then we check whether there a significant difference present or not. The final conclusion was that the difference is not significant. Initially, to apply any parametric test, we require that it should be tested for normality, first step. If it is found normally distributed, then we can move ahead. Otherwise, we can switch to a non-parametric test. So that was the procedure. So we checked the normality also. What was the test available to check the normality? Did anybody recall that test?
Normality test and homogeneity test.
Yeah, normality test. Normality test.
Shapiro link.
Yes, sir. Shapiro-Wilk test.
Shapiro-Wilk test.
So we applied Shapiro-Wilk test to check the normality. Very good, very good. And then we what p-value we require to confirm normality? Any p-value which is greater than 0.05 will confirm normality. What was the null hypothesis to test the normality? Null hypothesis was the distribution was normal. The data is normal. Whichever variable we are testing is normally distributed. This is our null hypothesis. We tested this null hypothesis with the help of Shapiro-Wilk test. We found that the p-value was greater than 0.05, so we confirmed that data are normally distributed. Then second assumption, we talked about the homogeneity of the variance. So homogeneity of the variance also we check with the help of Leven's test of equality of variance. And in this case also, as the p-value was greater than 0.05, we confirmed that both these groups, the variance can be assumed equal. And then we had proceed towards the application of the independent sample t-test. So that was the discussion yesterday. Then we also talk about the one sample t-test. So one sample t-test can be applied when we have a sample mean and we want to compare our sample mean with some standard or specific value. So that was the case. We had a data set of around 41 respondents or organization whose the data was collected regarding the weight in grams, and the standard weight for the product was 500 gram, and we conducted this test to compare the sample mean with 500 gram. So that was the discussion yesterday. If you have still doubt with respect to yesterday's discussion, you can just ask the question. Otherwise, we can move ahead. Any question with respect to yesterday's discussion? We applied independent sample t-test and one sample t-test. Now we can continue with our discussion on dependent sample t-test. So dependent sample t-test can be applied when we have before-after situation. So a respondent score of before, you are just comparing same score with the after. So a before and after comparison you can make with the help of dependent sample t-test. It is also known as the paired sample t-test. As the name suggests, pair means you are pairing the observations. So maybe a time frame you can pick up, or maybe some event you can pick up. So before that event and after that event, what is the condition? Is there any improvement present or not? That is what you can test with the help of dependent sample t-test. So we require one column as before and one column as after. Now please open the file in Jamovi. The name of the file is dependent sample t-test. The name of the file is dependent sample t-test. Can you give me some examples where you can apply dependent sample t-test or paired sample t-test?
So we can take example of training programs. We can take example with, like that the data before training program and after training program. So we can conclude the significance of the training program.
Perfect, perfect. So it is the similar data you are working before training and after training. So for particular variable, if you identify a before training score and after training score, then yes, you can apply paired sample t-test. So your interest is that whether there is a significant difference in the scores with respect to before training and after training. This data is related to the training given to salespeople, and these numbers represent the daily productive sales calls. So some training is given. Before training, what was the performance regarding sales? It was measured. And then after training, the performance is measured with respect to productive sales calls. And then it has checked for the significant difference. Any other example, participants?
So we can take one another example like advertisement effectiveness, because a company wants to launch an advertisement scheme. So it can study the relation between the before advertisement, what was the product market reaction, and after advertisement, what was the market reaction. So then in that case,
Market reaction you can measure with respect to sales. So
yes,
before advertisement, what was the sales? After advertisement, what is the sales?
Yes,
with
sir.
respect to different region, you can just compare with respect to this before after situation. Very nice example. Other participants, any other examples?
A doubt, sir. I have a doubt.
Yeah, please.
Sir, जैसे if we apply chi-square test, then also we measure such types of data कि before training, after training, application of medicine on a particular group of people before applying, after applying. So how it is differ? It is differ in sample size.
No. Both tests are different. Particularly, chi-square test is applied when you want to have a nominal to nominal data association. So there are two variables, and both variables are measured in terms of nominal to nominal. Or you can also apply nominal to ordinal data. Right, but the ordinal data, it is converted into frequencies. So in chi-square test, you are converting data into the frequencies, and your objective is to study the association between these two variables, row variable and column variable. Whether in this case of t-test, here before and after, both variables are scale data, either interval data or ratio data. And then you are checking with respect to before and after the same data set you are comparing. So same respondents data you are collecting two times. one as a before situation and one as the after situation, and then you are comparing, right? But in chi-square test, you are not comparing before after situation. You are comparing two groups separately, and then also both variables either in nominal to nominal or nominal to ordinal, or even interval or ratio data, but you are converting them into frequencies, and then frequencies are applied for a testing purpose. And your objective are also different. Chi-square test objective is to study the association. Here the objective is to study the significant difference with respect to before and after situation. I hope the point is clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. So for every test, our objective is different. Say for example, in case for independent sample t-test, the objective is to compare the two groups of mean. One sample t-test, the objective is to compare sample mean with the some standard or benchmarking value. Here we are comparing before after situation. Like this, for every test, our objective will be different. Any other question or any other clarification? Should we proceed? Okay. I hope you people are ready with JMOV. And then you need to click it here, t-test, and then paired sample t-test. T-test and paired sample t-test. Once you click there, then this will appear. You need to transfer your before training and after training variable. Then you need to click here, normality test. Then you need to click on descriptives. Then you need to click on mean difference.
So please repeat the process, please.
Yeah, you need to click on normality test, first check. Second one is the descriptives. Third one is the mean difference. Normality test, descriptives, and mean difference. And by default tick mark, the student's t-test is available. I hope you get the output, everyone. Now, how to interpret this output? So first interpretation will be done for normality test, assumptions checking. Is it normally distributed? What do you think? Is it normally distributed? The p-value for the difference is 0.023. What do you think? Is it normally distributed?
No, 0.05 से कम है.
Yes, yes. So this value is less than 0.05. So we reject the null hypothesis. Null hypothesis is the data are normally distributed. And our null hypothesis is rejected. So it means that actually this test is for the difference of the before and after. So first column is before variable, second column is after variable, and then the difference between before and after, third column software is producing, and it is tested for normality. So difference is not normally distributed. This is what the condition is. So we are violating the assumption of normality. To apply any parametric test, our assumption is that the variable is normally distributed. In this case, we are violating the assumption of normality. So in an ideal situation, you cannot apply this test, paired sample t-test, and you can switch to a non-parametric test called Wilcoxon test. So there is an option available on the left hand side, this one, Wilcoxon rank test, this one. Wilcoxon rank test, this one. So in an ideal situation, when you violate the assumption of normality, at that time you need to switch to a non-parametric test which is equivalent to paired sample t-test, and this test is called Wilcoxon sign rank test. But as we are learning this test, paired sample t-test, so we'll continue interpreting the output. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? Issue of normality?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, second interpretation is the descriptives. So descriptives, you can see that mean value is 3.40. That is for before training. So before training, the daily productive sales calls average is 3.40. After training, it has improved to 6. But whether this improvement is statistically significant or not, that we have to check. So how can we check? So this is our T calculated minus 7.51, and this one is P value which is less than 0.001. It is written. So obviously it is less than 0.05. So we reject our null hypothesis. What is our null hypothesis? The null hypothesis is that there is no significant difference in the daily productive sales calls before training and after training. Before training and after training. That was the null hypothesis. So what we get a p value which is less than 0.05. So we reject the null hypothesis and we can conclude that the difference is significant. There is a significant difference in the daily productive sales calls before training and after training. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the question is that if your null hypothesis is rejected, it means that significant difference is present. But if the mean will be lower, after mean will be lower, then also the test will say that the difference is significant. And the mean is improved, then also the test will say the difference is significant, right? A p-value which is less than 0.05 indicates that a statistically significant difference is present. Now it is your judgment whether the improvement is present or not, that you have to confirm. So how you can confirm that there is an improvement? The training is effective. Our objective is to measure the effectiveness of the training. So whether the training is effective or not, how do you know this? Are you getting my point? If the p-value is less than 0.05, it indicates the difference is significant. Now difference is significant, it means that mean can be lower also, or mean can be higher also. So to confirm this thing, again, simply by looking at these mean values, you can confirm. Obviously, the after mean is higher, so training is effective. Or you can calculate, or you can just observe this t value is negative. It means that the after mean is higher, then only the after this will be negative, t will be negative, because it is the difference between before minus after. So this t is negative, so it is indicating that the training is effective. The same test you are applying, for example, reduction of weight with respect to yoga classes, right? Before joining yoga and after joining the yoga, reduction in weight. So what you are interested in the reducing the weight. So weight will be reduced means after mean will be lower than the before mean. In this case, if the weight is reduced overall average, then the after mean will be lower. Then also the p value will say that the difference is significant. Right. So to check whether the difference is significant or not, we have to see the mean value or t calculated. Right. And then according to our objectives, we can fix it. So in a yoga cases, our t statistics should be positive. Before mean should be higher than the after mean. Right. So our p value, okay, fine, we can observe the p value, but once after observing the p value, our objective is the effectiveness of the training. So we can observe through this also. Now additionally, we can give this confidence interval 95%. So this is available. Who will interpret the difference of this 95%? 95% confidence interval. Who will interpret? Yesterday we discussed. How can we interpret this difference? 95%? Anyone?
Sir, are you asking about the 95% confidence interval meaning, sir?
This 95% confidence interval, the last table,
Yes, sir.
last two columns, lower and upper. Yesterday we discussed, right?
There will be 95% chance that the mean will be between lower limit and upper limit.
Okay, let us again discuss. See, this time we get a difference. What mean difference we get? Minus 2.6. Right? Then
Right.
the probability is 95% that your difference will be in a range from minus 3.31 to minus 1.89. So in future, suppose if you conduct 100 experiments, then there is a probability of 95% that your range of the values will be from minus 3.31 to minus 1.89. This time you get minus 2.6. Now both values are negative, minus 3.31, minus 1.89. What does it indicate? Both values are negative. Lower limit is also negative and upper limit is also negative. What does it indicate? This time also you get a negative difference. The lower limit is also negative, upper limit is also negative. So negative difference, what does it indicate? A negative mean difference, what does it indicate? Which mean will be higher if you get a negative difference?
Sir, second mean, sir.
Second mean, yes. And second mean is the after mean. So it
Yes,
means that this time also the after mean is higher, and confidence interval is also saying this after mean will be higher. So in future, there is a probability of 95% that the training will be effective because both means are negative. So there is a 95% chance that the training will be effective. Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. No, sir. एक बार फिर से repeat it.
See, this time we get a negative difference. Negative difference means that the second mean is higher. So after mean is higher, it means that training has some effect, positive effect. Right? Now suppose second time if you collect the same number of respondents from same population, the respondent will change, but number will be same, population will be same. Will you get the same mean difference? Minus 2.8
No,
or
sir.
minus 2.6? No, will not get, right?
It will
The
change.
difference will be slightly different.
Yeah.
Suppose third time again we'll performing the same experiment, again we will get a different kind of a difference. So every time when we conduct such experiment, our mean difference will be different. So we are interested in that. Can we have a range of the difference? So yes, this software provides us the range of the difference. So the range of the difference will be this lower and upper limit, and its probability is 95%. So in future, suppose if you conduct 100 times such experiment, then there is a probability of 95% that you get a lower limit and upper limit as given by the software. It will be in that range. Right now, both range are negative. Lower limit is also negative, upper limit is also negative. It means that the training will always be effective, and the probability is obviously 95% because both range are negative. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are discussing the counter tests of this parametric test. So we are discussing some non-parametric tests. So same situation before after, but the variable is ordinal in nature. We are dealing with the same situation before and after, but the variable is ordinal in nature. Then you have choices available like Wilcoxon sign, rank test, and sign test. These two choices are available. So, Wilcoxon sign rank test can be applied when you have number one, a not normally distributed scale data measured in terms of before and after, obviously, but the variable is not normally distributed. So you can apply Wilcoxon sign rank test. Situation number one. Situation number two is that the variable that you are capturing is itself ordinal in nature. So if it is ordinal in nature, then definitely you can, there is no need to check the normality and directly you can apply
আমি
Wilcoxon sign
আমি
rank.
কোনো কথা কইতাম না আমার তো মাইক বন্ধ রাখো
Please mute your mic.
স্যারের সাউন্ড আয় না করে কি হলো ভাই
So this is the variable. How do you feel about your teeth? And it is measured in terms of 5-point scale. Wish I could change them, don't like, but can put up with them, no particular feeling, I am satisfied and consider myself fortunate. So this is the ordinal scale, right? There is a order, there is a hierarchy, but the distance is not equal. So this is the ordinal scale. And certain treatment is given to the children. So before treatment, they are measured with respect to this 5-point scale. And after treatment, again, they are measured. And we are testing the difference between before and after. So first of all, sign test. So sign test is not that much very powerful as it is the non-parametric test, and it works on the sign only. For example, if the score is changed from 1 to 10, then there is a positive sign. And if the score is changed from 1 to 2, then also there is a positive sign. It means that we are losing magnitude. 1% improvement is also improvement, and 10% improvement is also improvement, and 100% improvement is also improvement. We are losing magnitude. So sign test works on signs only, positive sign and negative sign. Now the entire focus is on median. The test will be regarding the median. So the null hypothesis will be the median difference is 0. Right? The null hypothesis is the median difference is 0. Now to evaluate this null hypothesis, we require only sign of the differences. Let us assume that we have a data set with respect to 20 children and their score before treatment and their score after treatment. We have just measured it before and after. Now how can we proceed further? Just we need to see the change. So before was 1, after is 5. So change is positive plus 4. Here before 3, after 1, change is negative minus 2. Here before 4, after also 4. So change is 0. So like this you need to calculate the change. Then what is the sign? So for all positive signs you need to mention the positive plus sign. Negative one you need to mention negative sign. So 15 children felt better about their teeth because there are 15 positive signs. 1 children felt worse, so there is a 1 negative sign. And there are 4 children who felt the same. So we have 4, this 0, neither positive nor negative. So it means that we have more positive signs than a negative sign. So it looks like the good evidence against the null hypothesis, but we require a p-value. So p-value will be generated by the software. This is how you can conduct this test. We'll see this with the help of Jamovi also, but at present just we need to understand how the test works. So this test works on only signs, positive signs and negative signs, like this. If these are the balanced one, then equally we could get a positive sign and negative sign. If we get a more positive sign, then also it will be like that the null hypothesis will be rejected. If we get more negative sign, then also there are evidence that the null hypothesis can be rejected. So more unbalanced signs will be the indication of the rejecting of the null hypothesis. Right? So here also maybe it is quite possible that the null hypothesis will be rejected, but exactly we require a p-value to take the decision. But this is how the test works, sign test. So the p-value for sign test is the probability of an outcome as or more extreme than that has been observed. So here we observed 15 positive, 1 negative. So this is the extreme value, and exactly p-value we get through software, and then we can take the decision of rejecting the null hypothesis. Now second choice available for non-parametric test is Wilcoxon signed rank test. So as compared to sign test, this is a little bit more powerful. So how the test works and what is the difference between a sign test and Wilcoxon signed rank test? Let us check. Same data set, 20 children, before rating and after rating. Now we are measuring the difference. So difference, again, we have 15 positive difference, 1 negative difference, and others are 0. Others are 0. So in Wilcoxon sign rank test, it removes those with 0 differences. Right? This data are removed. So the difference is with respect to 0. Same opinion we are removing. Then again, we can move further. So then if we remove these differences, 4 differences, then our data from 20 it became 16. So we removed observation number 5, we removed observation number 11 like this. And then after removing 4 observations, we have now 16 observations. Then out of 16 observation, we are aware that we have 15 positive sign and 1 negative sign. Then we need to consider the absolute difference. So whatever the difference, the second column, we need to consider this value as absolute values. Then we need to arrange this data from lower to higher value against the according to the magnitudes of the differences. Then we need to calculate the average rank or mean rank. So average rank is nothing but how we can calculate. So first one is one of first. And we have time for second, third, fourth, and fifth. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and divided by 4. So here divided by 4. So answer is 3.5. So we get answer of 3.5. So up to 5 we have given the rankings. We can start with 6. So 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 30 and divided by number of observations. So we get 9.5. So everybody will get 9.5. Similarly, here also everybody get 50. Like this, we need to calculate the average ranks. Then the next task is to have a summation of the average rank. So all with the positive ranks, we get a summation 132.5. And all with a negative range, the summation is 3.5. Now, if we have a total of this 132.5 plus 3.5, so what answer we get? We get 136. And 136, if I divide by 2, equal distribution, 50%. So 136 by 2, so we get x68. So if this is a balanced one, then ideal situation is that for a positive rank we get a 68 total, and for a negative rank we again get a 68 of the total. But here what we get 132.5 and only 3.5. So this is again indicating that a data is more towards the positive sides as compared to negative one. But again, to confirm that the treatment is effective, we require a p-value. But this is how the test works. Is it okay, everyone? Understood? Now, if you understood that, if you do not have any question, then just open the file non-parametric. Open the file non-parametric. Do we have data in non-parametric? Let me check. Just don't open, let me check the data, whether it is a Wilcoxon data is available or not. No, this data is not available. Let me again check the data. Yes, this data is not available. Fine. So let me again check and then let me share with you if this data is available. Otherwise, what we can do, we can, or this data is very simple. You can just enter this data into Excel sheet. Same data, you can just enter it into the Excel sheet and then you can perform it. This is the same data set. This data you can enter into the Excel sheet and then you can proceed. This one is the data set. Or alternatively, you have the same data set available for this before and after. This t-test just we perform. So you can also use the same data set, before and after training data set. So what is your preference? Would you like to create this data set or would you like to use the same data set? What is your preference?
So these are the sir. This will be the better, sir, on your PPT, sir.
PPT, right? So you can just enter it, this data set, and then we can use this data set.
So
This
please
is
share
the-
the screen again.
This is the data set. You can just enter it. Rishabh Kumar, do you have any question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Kindly let me just know whenever you are ready with the file. Any question? Sripad Gaikwad, Ashok Shelke. Please ask your question. You have raised your hand, that is why I am asking. Ashok Shelke, Sripad Gaikwad. Any question?
Sir, one question asking.
Yeah, please ask.
We are a session very hard pulling. I have no question, sir. I appreciate and thank you, sir. Huh? Okay, sir. Thank you.
You are not clearly audible. Sir, you are not clearly audible. Please repeat.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, please.
Sir, I have no question. I am fine, but we are session is a very hard pulling. I am carefully hearing. So I wishes, I heartily thanks to all, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Participants, ready with the file? Everyone?
Yes, sir. Ready, sir.
Okay.
डबल विचारलं बंद करून टाकलं मी आय नो क्वेश्चन सर सो वी आर सेशन इज अ व्हेरी हार्टली टच and I appreciate you, sir, and God bless. Wish you, sir.
So, same menu you can use. T-test, paired sample T-test. Then you need to transfer before rating and after rating. But now you need to just give a tick mark to this Wilcoxon rank test and don't give a tick mark to students T-test. This one, Wilcoxon rank test, this one. And don't give a tick mark to this one. You can give a tick mark to descriptive. Now there is no need to check this normality. I hope you are able to get this option also. You have given the tick mark also.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now this Wilcoxon W calculated value is 3.50. You can just observe these 4 pairs of values were tied. Right? The same difference, 0 difference. So these 4 pairs of values were tied. And then you get a p-value which is less than 0.001. So obviously it is less than 0.05. So null hypothesis is rejected and you can confirm that the difference is significant. The difference between this before treatment and after treatment, the effect of treatment that you can observe, the difference is significant. Then alternatively, you can also change the hypothesis. By default, hypothesis is measure 1 is not equal to measure 2. Now, your after treatment, the rating should be improved. So you should be interested in this hypothesis that measure 1 is less than measure 2. Before treatment should be less than the after treatment. Measure 1 is less than measure 2. Right? Same p-value you are getting, but obviously the test will be one-tailed test here. Because you are interested that after treatment, whether the improvement is present or not. And here if you do not have any the descriptive statistics, mean rank and everything, only on the basis of W, if you wish to give the final judgment, then you can alternatively rely on one tail test. Measure 1 is less than measure 2, and then you can test it like this. Any question, any doubt? So then you can conclude, overall conclusion will be the treatment is effective. So whatever we discussed, if you have any question, then you please ask.
Sir, in this question, sir, we have to conclude conclude that by looking at the p-value, we can conclude, na, sir?
Yeah, by looking at the p-value, if our test is, for example, here, the test is measure 1 is not equal to measure 2, then by looking at the p-value, your conclusion will be there is a significant difference in the before rating and after rating by looking at the p-value. Then if I change it like this, then our conclusion will be that the training is effective or the treatment is effective. As the p-value is less than 0.01 or 0.5, so overall you can conclude that the treatment is effective.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions?
Sir, why it is taken as one tail or not two tail? Due to the because
Your mean or the measure 1 is equal to measure 2 and measure 1 is not equal to measure 2, right? So is not equal to, so it can be on a higher side, greater than side also, or it can be on a left side, lower side also. So that is the reason it is on both the sides. So it is known as two-tail test. But if the rejection region, as a researcher, you can fix on right hand side also, or you can fix on the left hand side also. So if you are fixing your rejection region either on right hand side or on left hand side, then the test will be known as one tail test. So the direction, whenever you are interested in the directions that the condition is improved, so it is a one tail test, because improved means you are interested on the right hand side. The training is effective, sales are increased, it means that you are interested on the right hand side. So it means that the test will be one tail test, right? Is equal to, is not equal to will be a two tail test. So whenever in your hypothesis, when you use some directional words at that time, definitely the test will be one tail test. I hope the point is clear.
okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? So Dhaval sir has joined. So you can continue, Dhaval sir. Thank you. I am leaving, and Dhaval sir will continue.
Respected participants, we need to wait a few minutes. Our next resource person is Dhaval Mehta. Hopefully, he will be joining with us within few minutes. Yes, Dhaval sir is with us. Very good afternoon, sir. Now we have with us Dhaval Mehta. Professor Dhaval Mehta has taken already one session yesterday. Uh, Now I would like to request sir, please, to take the session. Over to you, sir. I think he's facing some difficulties with the network. Once again, I would like to request of all the participants to wait few moments. Sir, Dhaval Mehta, Professor Dhaval Mehta. Sir, are you listening to me, sir? He is joined. I think some problem is going on. That is the reason he is not able to connect with us. But right now he is with us.
Sir, you're joining.
Okay, respected participants, we have talked with him right now. He has disconnected once again. He's trying. Hopefully, we'll get him soon. Yes, he is joined once again. Hello, sir. Are you listening to our words? Mahata, sir?
Asmina? Asmina?
হ্যালো, আর ইউ লিসেনিং? হ্যালো,
আমাকে একটু মিষ্টি এনে দে না, ওই যেটা আর একটা সেই কোটো।
am I audible? Thank God. Okay, all of you mute the mic. I request all of you please mute the mic. Okay, we'll start the session. Sorry for the delay from my side, but the thing was I was already there in the meeting, but the voice was not reachable. I am sharing a screen with you. Please start your GMOV, the employee data which we have already worked on it. Please start on it. Okay, please pick up that data.
Yeah.
Is the screen visible to all of you? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From
So,
10 minutes I was, yeah.
Was a technological problem maybe from our side. I would like to welcome Dhaval Mehta, Professor Dhaval Mehta, sir. He has taken one session in the earlier sessions. Now he's with us. Sir, very good afternoon.
Thank
Over
you.
to you, sir.
Thank you, all of you. Now see, whenever we do any analysis, try to bifurcate the variables into three categories. Okay, three categories, and when try to bifurcate only in two categories, right? But at present I am writing down two categories which I will forward down to just a minute. Okay, So nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. The example of this is weight, time, rank in the class, gender. What is the peculiarity? The peculiarity is that this type of data is having true zero. True zero means zero weight means zero weight. Weight does not exist. Here, zero does not mean true zero, which means that suppose, for example, I'm saying that your clock is displaying 00.00 in the night. Will you say there is no time? No, there is a time, and it is at 12 o'clock in the night. And suppose you have gone somewhere and that thermometer is showing the temperature 0 degrees Celsius. So will you say that there is no temperature? No. So here zero is not an absence of phenomena, but here zero is absence of phenomena in ratio. Okay, in rank, if I say that a student has secured first rank in the class, so it means that it is talking about the commitment and dedication and hard work of the student. But suppose if I say that the student's roll number is 1, so this is just a number, right? But any number conveys any meaning, any meaning. Assistant professor, associate professor, professor, rank is there, colonel, lieutenant, major, then it is known as an ordinal variable. Gender, male, female, yes, no, bias, non-bias. Now these two variables collectively are also known as continuous variables, and these two are known as categorical, right? Let's go further. These two are further also known as metric variables. Okay, now we will have only two names, metric variables, and these two collectively are known as non-metric variables, right? Is my Excel screen visible to all of you? Say yes or no. Say yes, at least in the chat box. Is my Excel sheet visible? Yes, fine. Are collectively known as non-metric. Now, the most important thing here is this no. Okay, this no. What do I mean by this NO? Nominal and ordinal. Okay, so non-metric. So here, most of the time we are using non-parametric test. And here, as metric is there, parameter is there, we are using parametric test. Okay, parametric. So Hitesh sir has given you one example of parametric test, that is a t-test, right? T-test, already the example has been shared with you, right? T-test, ANOVA, they all fall in the category of parametric. But in all these cases, here, in this case, especially, we require that the data should be following the normal distribution. Okay, so there is a normality testing which we have to do. Normality testing. Okay, this again comes later on. Now, let us come on that now the data is having only two scenarios. One is metric and another is non-metric. Right, two scenarios, non-metric. And in non-metric, we know what can be this: nominal and ordinal. And in metric, we can have ratio and interval. This is also known as scale variables. Now, what we can do, what type of analysis can be done in non-metric type of data? So we can compute bar chart univariate analysis, bar chart, and here we can have histograms because it is a continuous data. Here we can have mode and median. Why we can have mode and median? Because say for example, male is coded as 1 and 2 is coded as female is coded as 2. Can I write that the mean gender of my study is 1.6? So I cannot compute mean in case of nominal and ordinal data, and therefore most of the time we compute mode and median, and here we are computing mean. With this basic understanding, how we will do this type of analysis in Jamovi, let's see. All of you get ready with this type of file. Are you ready with this screen? Please say yes or no. Are you ready with the employee data? Please say yes or no. Rituraj Bora is ready. Only one person? Only one person? Any other? Only one person is ready? Rima Mulik is ready. Okay. Anybody else who is ready with this? Sripat Gaikwad is ready. Good. Any other? 3 people. Any others? Anybody else who is ready? Kirti Jain, are you ready? Are you working, Kirti Jain? Mohammad Moaz Ali is working. Rishabh Kumar is working. I am waiting for you. Only 5 people. Okay. Let's start. Go in exploration and go in this also. Click on descriptives. Got it? Did you got it? Okay. Now these are all nominal variables. Let us try to plot variables by gender. Okay. So we are having gender. Now what we will do? We will open this box and we will say, please give me the bar plot of this, and you will get male and female bar plot. Can you see? Are you getting it? Write down in the chat box. Please write down in the chat box. Are you getting it? Yes. Are you getting it? Ravindra Bhatia, Anubhav Mittal. Once again, I am saying repeatedly, you can join my group. I have posted the link by which you will get the notification of all upcoming programs. Okay, next thing. Next thing which is coming is, can I make a graph of job category? So including here, and again you will get the graph. Got it? Got it? Write down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now remove all of them from here, and when we take a scale variable, you cannot have a bar plot here. Bar plot, see, bar plot will give you wrong results. See, I already told you this. So here what we want is, as it is a scale variable, what is our reckoner saying? That you should plot the histograms. So click on histogram. Yeah, are you getting the histogram? See, you got the histogram. Done? Okay. Let's proceed further. What are the other types of graphs which can be plotted for the scale variable? So if I do simple tick and a density will be generated. I can have box plots for the scale data. See, this is a box plots. I can have violin plots. Okay. So all this is possible. Are you getting it? Just say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is a box plot? Actually, the box plot is nothing but it is a normal distribution. Okay. Let me explain this thing by a simple example box plot. See this. When you connect the first quartile and the third quartile, and you create the box like this, and when you draw the fencing at plus or minus 3 sigma, it is just a simple another way of representing the chart. Now he negative skew. This graph. This talks about the skewness. Okay. How is it constructed? It is constructed on this concept. See this. U1, Q3, and this. That's a box plot. Okay. It talks about that the data is normally distributed or not. Right. Let's proceed further now. What else we can do? So we are here. So we have completed the graphical representation of the data. Now we want to see the descriptive representation. Descriptive means what we can do, what computation we can do for salary. So as the salary is a continuous variable, you can have mean, median, and mode. Okay. Is there any ready reckoner to tell that which type of analysis to be done in which when? Yes, it is available. Suppose you are having nominal data, you are having ordinal data, you are having scale data. Okay. And here if I write mode, median, and mean. So here you can compute. When it is mode, you can only compute you can only compute. Okay. When it is ordinal data, you can compute mode and median. When it is scale data, you can compute mode, median, and mean. Okay. This cannot be computed in this case, and this cannot be computed, right? So let's proceed further. It is a scale data, and as it's a scale data, we can compute all three of them. Okay. Second scenario. Suppose my data is see. Now, as gender is a categorical variable, it will not compute only. It will not do any mistake of computing mean and median. Right, but it is not computing mode also. Why it is not computing mode? Because you have coded something M as male and F is female. So there is no 1 and 0 in this case. So let us pick up the minority, which is coded at 1 and 0, and definitely it will give the answer. See, can you see? For minority, it has given answer that this is the mode. Right, this is the mode of this. Please switch off the density function here, histogram here, because you cannot have scale plots for the categorical data. Right? Is it clear? Now, if I say that I'm having an ordinal, right? So I switch off all these things and I include the job category. The job category is clerical custodial. So I take it here and I click on mode and median, and you can see it is giving me the result. That mode is also 1 and median is also 1. Right? Shall I proceed further? Now comes the bivariate analysis. Bivariate analysis means there can be a combination of non-metric to non-metric and metric to metric, non-metric to metric. Okay, there can be this and this is same. This and this is same. Non-metric to metric, non-metric to metric. This and this is same. Okay, so let us try to do what we can do clustered bar chart. It means that I am introducing 2 categorical variables at a time. Okay, let's see. Let us go back here. Job category is there. I want to include the gender here. So split by gender, tick on frequency tables and you will get the frequency tables. See how many gender, how many males are there in these categories. You got the result? Please say yes or no. You got the result? Say yes or no in the chat box. Say yes or no in the chat box, please. I am monitoring. Did you got the result? If you have not got it, then also please tell me. Yes, only one person has got it. Where are others? Only Rituraj Bora has got it. Where are others? Where are others? Are you able to do it? Just say yes or no. Hello. Are you able to do it? Say yes or no.
Sir, please repeat it.
Please repeat. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Just replicate this job cat, gender and frequency table and you will get the results. Nothing, it's not any hard thing. Take job category here, gender in split by. And just click here on the frequency table and you will get the result.
Sir, how I will determine which items will be transferred to split by and which items will be transferred to variables?
It hardly matters. May I know your good name? May I know your good name?
Ravinder Kumar Bhatia.
Yeah, Ravinder
Kumar Bhatia.
Yeah, Ravinder Kumar. Yeah, Ravinder Kumar ji. See, listen. When we are working on both categorical variable, okay, there will not be any problem. But when you are working in non-metric to metric, make sure that splitting is done by non-metric variable. You can split the things by male and female. Say for example, we are having salaries of all the employees. I want to split it by male, female, department A and B. So splitting is a categorical variable. Okay. So say for example, in the same example, suppose if I say that gender is here, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen in the sense, see, rows will become columns and columns will become rows. See this. It will transpose. There will not be an issue. Issue will come when you are entering wrong thing in split by. Okay. In your worst nightmare also, you will not commit this mistake. I will tell you the reason why. The reason is that, can you see this three balls? Can you see these 3 balls?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These 3 balls, what they are saying that in this bracket only nominal or ordinal will go. So either this will go or this will go or the gender will go. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now see, suppose if I am plotting this thing here and now I have told you that you can plot the clustered bar chart. Close this and go in bar plots. And now you will be having a representation of the data in this format. Just check it. See? Is it there? Is it there?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the result? Please say yes or no at least.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us come to this part. When both of them are running in metric to metric, okay, both of them are in scale variable. So let us go there and try to find out the test case. Both of them are in scale variable. Close this. Close this. Can anybody tell me which is the variable, at least two variables which are running in scale? Okay, at least two variables. I will have to remove this because it's not my concern. This what I'm doing is delete variable. I have to remove it. Delete it. Okay. Anybody who wants to tell me the two variables on which I can plot the scatter plot? Two variables which are in scale. No idea?
Sir, salary and previous experience, sir.
Yeah, salary and previous experience can be taken. Regression and correlation metrics. And take salary here and previous experience here and click on correlation metrics. See this? This means that as the previous experience is increasing, your salary is decreasing. Okay. I can also have salary and salary begin. Okay. Are you getting it? Please write down in the post.
Sir, here we got the negative correlation. Sir, so is it possible, sir?
Yeah, it is possible. The reason is in case of previous experience, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is possible. For example, see, you must have seen the packages of the employees in IT companies. More the employee gets older, his package goes on decreasing, right? Because in IT, people want a fresh blood. The package goes on decreasing. Similarly, you see the case of movie stars. Till some age, their package or their remuneration goes on increasing. After some age, it starts decreasing, right? So it can happen.
Okay, sir.
Okay. next, the last case, the bar chart. When one variable is running in metric scale and another variable is in non-metric scale. So from where to go? Again, you go, all of you, in exploration, descriptives. Okay, you can go for scatter plot from here also. Okay, you can go for scatter plot from here also. There are two ways to get the scatter plot. Okay, here also scatter plot, and here it will be celery begin. Now when you are here, you are also having one flexibility, that I want to say that the celery, that the relationship which is there between celery and celery begin, is it same for male and female or not? So you can insert gender here and see, now it will give me according to the male and female. It can also give me according to the, see, basically in grouping variable or a splitting variable or a categorical variable, the basic objective is to split it. So here I want to say that, is there any significant effect if the person is studying, taking a good education? So we can see that more the education, the relationship is more significant, right? I can also have it according to the job category. Are you able to do it? Just write down in the chat box. You can also make a smooth linear regression line. You can also have a smooth line. Getting it? Say yes or no. Are you getting it? Say yes or no in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Now I wanted to do about this part. What this part is. Go in exploration, descriptives. One variable is metric, another variable is non-metric. Click on frequency tables and chart. See the result. If you don't get any result here, go in plots, and in plots click on bar plots. See the result. You're getting it? But here what the thing is, that the height talks about, this height talks about the mean. It is mean of the salary. Okay, it's not the frequency, it's a mean of the salary. Right? Shall I proceed? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Who is getting more salary here?
Male.
Male.
Yeah, and you can see the number also, male mean salary and female. Shall I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Shall I proceed? Okay, all of you have completed the t-test. Now the t-test lies, is chi-square completed? All of you? Chi-square? Did Hitesh sir take chi-square?
No, sir.
Okay, not too well. See, now this, he will take it tomorrow, right? Chi-square, non-parametric. Now all the t-tests, again the same table. Okay, the same thing, metric, non-metric, non-metric. I am repeating here. Okay, and I will be sending this sheet. Don't worry, a ready reckoner is there for you. So if both the variables are running in non-metric to non-metric, you run chi-square among these variables. when one variable is in metric and another is non-metric, possibly you must have done something, some example must have been given that you are comparing A with B. What was the example? Anybody recalls the example that you are doing this? Any example was there in which you are comparing two groups? Which were those groups? Anybody recalls it? Hello? Anybody recalls it? Hello? Does anybody recall what was the example in Jamovi which was given? Which example Hitesh sir give of t-test of comparing two groups?
Yes, sir. Training, sir.
Yeah, training.
Yes.
That was before and after training. He must have done
Yes, sir.
independent sample t-test. What was that?
Yes, sir. No, sir. I was not there, sir.
Who was else here? Okay, so when you are comparing two departments, department A and department B, process A and process B, material A and material B, you require t-test to be conducted, right? But if there are more than two groups, how many times you will run the t-test? So in that scenario, we are using ANOVA. In that scenario, we are using ANOVA. If both the variables are in metric to metric, correlation and regression we are running, that we will see tomorrow, right? Another thing which is there is when you are in this cell, now these two cells are no longer similar. When you will ask the question, which is the independent variable? If your independent variable is here, means the independent variable is non-metric, buyers, non-buyers, this becomes dependent variable, users, non-users, this becomes dependent variable, purchasers, non-purchasers, this becomes your dependent variable, right? So that if it falls here, then you will have to use logistic regression, which is an advanced statistics. So with this understanding, let's try to run ANOVA in case of our this data. And here you should be pretty much sure that ANOVA you can run only when there are more than two groups. Okay, so can anybody tell me that which is the variable in which I can run the ANOVA? You can see the file carefully. It should be having more than two groups. Like see, male and female is two groups, but you can run ANOVA only when there are more than two groups. So when?
Clerical, managerial, and one more group is there.
Sorry?
Clerical, managerial, ये sort of.
Yeah, clerical.
There is three.
Yeah.
Three groups.
So I want to compare the salary of this. Okay. Now there is a very classical case in which we write the hypothesis of all this. Same thing if I repeat again here. So when I am in this compartment again, when non-metric to non-metric, we write the null hypothesis as there is no significant association between X and Y. Right? There is no significant association between X and Y. When I am writing non-metric to metric, which Hitesh sir has already taken, you frame your null hypothesis as there is no significant difference in X according to the Y. Right? And when I am here, there is no significant relationship between X and Y, or there is no significant impact of X on Y. So when I am running here, my null will be for ANOVA. There is no significant difference in salary according to the job category. An alternative will be there is at least one pair in which the difference is significant. Okay, at least one pair in which the difference is significant. So from where I will go? I will go in ANOVA, one way ANOVA. Get ready, all of you. Are you ready? Just say yes or no. Just say yes or no. Got it? Yes, Rituraj Bora is ready. So include salary here and job category here because it is having more than two variables, two groups. Okay. And click on post hoc and click on Tucky's test. Are you getting the same result? Just say yes or no. Same result. Say yes or no. Did you got the same result?
So please share the screen again, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. It's same, sir.
Okay. Now see here the p-value. As the p-value is less than 0.05, here this p-value, we reject the null hypothesis. Okay. We reject null hypothesis. What was our null? There is no, see here, the null was this. Right? This is null. And when the p-value is less than 0.05, we reject null. And as p-value is less than 0.05, we reject null, which means that there is significant difference in at least one pair of the job categories. The difference can be between clerical and custodial, clerical and managerial, custodial and managerial. So for this purpose, we go for the further analysis. And the further analysis is here. Those pairs whose p-value is less than 0.05. See, this is a p-value. This, and this. So those pairs whose p-value is less than 0.05, significant difference exists between them. So can anybody tell me which are those pairs in which there is a big difference in salary?
Clerical and managerial.
Yeah, clerical and managerial is having.
And custodial and managerial. There is two.
Clerical and managerial.
Sir, I didn't get it, sir.
Why? What's the confusion?
So you are saying that, sir, it should be 0.05. It should be less than 0.05, sir. So what to see now, sir?
See the p-value. See here clerical is compared with custodial.
Yes,
Clerical.
sir.
Here clerical compared with managerial.
Yes, sir.
Custodial compared with managerial. You
Yes,
see
sir.
the p-values of these groups. Whose group's p-value is less than 0.05?
Sir, all.
No, how all? See the p-value of clerical and custodial.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. 0.5 is 0.27. Yes, sir. Now got it, sir.
Okay. So if you are not clear with this, just click on descriptives plot and it will give you very clear picture. See this. Clerical is here, mean salary. Custodial is here and managerial is here. So there is a significant difference between clerical and managerial and custodial and managerial. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Did you got it?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Let us move further. You can use parametric test only in the scenario when your data is normally distributed. Okay. And so for this purpose, there is a formal test to conduct. And the formal test to conduct is, first of all, what you will do, you will throw this job category out. Okay. And click on normality test and QQ plot. Wait a minute, don't go from here. here. Don't go from here. Don't go from here. Go from descriptives. Go from descriptives. Don't go from ANOVA window. Go from this window. Descriptives. Salary. Statistics. Normality test. QQ plot. Got the result? All of you say yes or no. Please write down in the chat box. Okay, let's proceed further as all of you have cleared this thing. Okay, let me proceed further. Now, you have to test the normality of the variable, right? Now see, you run Shapiro-Wilcox and see the p-value. So here what our null hypothesis is that data is normally distributed. The null hypothesis of this test is, listen carefully, the null hypothesis of Shapiro-Wilcox and test is data is normally distributed and alternative is data is not normally distributed. And here as the p-value is less than 0.05, we reject null. It means that data is not normally distributed. Is it clear? Further, this can be confirmed by this also. See, in QQ plot, all the points are not on the straight line, and it means that there is a lot of skewness in the data. If your data is normally distributed, most of the points will be on the straight line. This you can very well confirm by what you know. Just see on histograms also. You will be able to see the skewness in the data. If you plot the density, it will get very well clear that the data is not normally distributed. Right? Is it clear, all of you? Are you getting it? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Now, what should you do if your data is not normally distributed? What should you do? What should you do if your data is not normally distributed? What should you do?
Outlier, we will remove outlier also.
No. You will increase the sample size first.
Okay.
Then you will remove the outliers. Okay. And after doing that, you will get the normality. In case if you don't get the normality, then what to do? Yes, Mohammad Moaz Ali. What to do if you don't get the normality? What to do?
We will remove outliers. No?
After removing outliers, you did not got the normality. What to do?
We will increase the sample size.
After that also you did not got the normality. Then what to do? Then what
No
to
idea,
do?
sir. No idea, sir.
Then you will have to use non-parametric test.
Okay.
So here only you are having that option. See, you use students t-test. So for each and every test, you are having a non-parametric option. You click on this and with me, it's non-parametric. Again, let's go back. For each and every test, independent sample test. There is man with me U test. Okay. In case of ANOVA, you will get it here. having Driscoll ORS test. Yeah, here it is. Non-parametric, one way ANOVA. See? Non-parametric one way ANOVA. For each and every parametric, we are having non-parametric test. Parametric test works on mean. We have already discussed this thing. Parametric test works on mean. See this. So we have taken this path today to understand this path. Okay. So we are here. So when we are using parametric, we test normality. If we don't get normality, we go in non-parametric, right? This works, non-parametric works on median, parametric works on mean. As parametric test works on mean, it is more affected by outliers because it is working on mean, each and every observation. Okay. And as this is working on median, this is less affected by outliers. Less affected by outliers. This requires large sample. This can work on small sample. Okay. So thank you all of you. Over to you, Biplab sir. Biplab sir, over to you. Any questions are there, please ask. Any questions are there, please ask. Over to you, Biplab sir. Hello? Hello? Are you all listening? Say yes or no. Any questions? Hello? Hello? Are you listening? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any questions are there, please ask.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's the question? What's the question? Please ask. What's the question? Please ask. No questions? Okay, over to you, Biplab sir. Hello?
Sir, probably there is no question. Thank you so much, sir, for the nice session you have delivered.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, all the participants. We are going to complete or end the session here. We'll meet tomorrow once again. Thank you so much.